And here we are. With class trial number 5. Let's get it on. Sorry for that really crappy intro, but sorry, I'm just so excited. Getting straight into it. Technically, the trial has not started yet. We have to talk to Kyoko first. Listen, before we get started, I have to ask you, where have you been this whole time? You used the key of yours to go somewhere, didn't you?
Correct.
I went to investigate the second floor of the dorms. The second floor?
That's right.
There aren't any monitors or cameras there, so I was able to avoid Monokuma completely. Of course, I also missed his announcement because of that.
Whew.
I had no idea a body had been discovered. Then when did you find out?
So...
Just now. I finished my search and came back down just in time to hear the class trial announcement. I took some time to go over the crime scene first. I can't go to a trial completely uninformed, can I? So that's why you were late.
However...
I'm sorry I kept you all waiting. But if you were on the second floor of the dorms, then that's what the key you found goes to?
Wrong.
Actually, to be precise,
In
not
other
quite.
words...
I could use Monokuma's secret tool, which can open any lock in the school. Kyoko's account. Wait, why would we need that?
Just a second.
Yeah.
Makoto.
We can go all over the details after we get through with the trial, okay, Makoto? Right now, I just want to focus on surviving our current situation.
It would seem...
Because this is probably the single most crucial moment so far for me. Trust her, important for everyone, right? So why would she say it's a crucial moment for her?
Goodbye.
Well, if that's all. Seemingly unconcerned, Kyoko made her way into the elevator. I'm just overthinking what she said, right? Being the last one left, I stepped into the elevator. And the doors slid shut. This time, the clunking was loud enough to hurt my ears, and the dread began to consume me once again. I can't imagine ever getting used to the mental pressure that comes with preparing for an execution. I'm gonna move my mic a bit closer to me. In the dusky darkness, no one said a word. Just stood there, silent and still. But after an immeasurable period of time, the doors opened without warning. A dazzling light penetrated every depth of my eyes, but it wasn't the illuminating light of hope. It was the blinding light of despair.
I can't wait! I can't wait!
I've been waiting for this. It feels like it's been forever since we got together like this. The time for pointless jokes and jabs has passed.
Thrills! Chills! Kills!
Let's get on with the show.
I got a little bit lazy last episode with my lines, so I'm gonna try and fix that this episode. And so the curtain opened for a 5th time. A deadly judgment, a deadly deception, a deadly betrayal, a deadly riddle, a deadly defense, a deadly faith, a deadly class trial. If I had known such a useful skill would come from Byakuya, I would have talked to him a long time ago. Unfortunately, I was not able to get it for this trial. Although, if I keep... If I could go back and maybe get it, try and get it again. Alright, here we go. Bang, 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 bang. All rise.
Let's begin with a basic
We know.
If you can figure out who done it, then only they will receive punishment. But if you pick the wrong one, then I'll punish everyone besides the blackened, and the one that deceived everyone else will graduate. Okay, well, I'll leave the rest up to you.
Well then, let's discuss the specifics of the victim. First, we need to clarify who exactly the unidentified victim is.
It's Kyoko. There's no other explanation.
But Kyoko's standing right there.
Are you stupid?
No, that's a ghost!
But she has legs and stuff.
Well, that's just because she's like the latest evolution in ghost technology.
There's a limit to how much ridiculousness I can tolerate.
Same here. That's like the one thing I can agree with you with on Tagami.
Okay. So I just have to prove that the corpse isn't Kyoko, right? Then let's compare Kyoko's traits to the traits of the dead body.
Her trait?
What important trait?
I got it!
The gloves.
I'm talking about her gloves. They'll give us some insight into the mystery. I'm sure of it.
In that case, I think it would be helpful if someone explained why she actually wears those gloves.
And would you happen to know the answer?
In fact, Monokuma told me. Apparently you have scars on your hands you don't want anyone to see.
Oh, you know, now that I think about it, the corpse wasn't wearing any gloves, right?
You had to
They
just be
probably
a dick,
just got burnt up in the
Tagami.
explosion. I'm not convinced. The ghost is just trying to fool us all.
No way that corpse was Kyoko. But if I can't prove why, we're gonna be stuck here, and the case won't move forward. So I don't have any choice but to start a non-stop debate. Let's do it. Wow, 5 right off the bat.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves. Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
The body isn't Kyoko. I don't know how I can prove it. Do I?
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove it. Prove she's not a ghost.
The dead body wasn't wearing gloves.
They got burnt up in the explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
There's 2 things I can think of.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Frackin' heck.
Because that corpse is absolutely Kyoko.
This entire discussion is idiotic.
That
Kyoko! Okay, then prove
The dead body was.
they got burnt up!
Then she was wearing gloves.
well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Nope, I was wrong.
Shoot!
I know it's on that one.
Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove
The dead body was.
they got burnt up!
Then she was wearing gloves.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
Yeah, that's
No,
it.
That's wrong. No. Then let her. I got it!
Alright, I'm just gonna do this all again just to get my health back.
That Kyoko there is just a ghost.
Impossible.
Okay, then prove
The dead body wasn't.
They got burnt up in the
Frickin'.
explosion.
Then she was wearing gloves before the explosion.
Well, yeah, she must have been wearing gloves.
No, that's wrong.
Get broken.
No. There's no.
Way the corpse was wearing gloves.
Whoever it was, they were wearing fake nails, remember? I imagine trying to wear gloves over nails like that would have been a pretty big pain. Besides, Kyoko wears gloves to hide her hand. It'd be pretty weird for someone who's self-conscious about their hands to wear fake nails. Don't you think?
Jeez, man, you don't know women, huh? They're complicated like that.
If anyone doesn't know women, it's you.
Well, Kyoko, any thoughts?
These gloves were custom made to the size of my hands to make sure they don't interfere with my daily life. If I wore fake nails, the gloves wouldn't fit properly.
Then that's that. The dead body doesn't belong to Kyoko.
We already knew that.
Which should have been obvious since she's standing right here.
Okay, so then, who's the real victim? First, we need to figure that out.
That's the first thing I said. You're the one who's been dragging us around in circles.
Before anything, we have to identify the victim. Everything starts from there. It's gotta be the tattoo, right? Yeah.
If Kyoko really is still alive, then who died?
There's gotta be some way to figure it out. I don't think so. The face was scorched beyond recognition. And there wasn't any description in the Monokuma file. Well, if we can't identify the body...
Then there's nothing else we can do, right? If Kyoko really...
Then who died?
There's gotta be... I don't think so.
The face was scorched beyond recognition.
Son of a...
Shoot! If Kyoko really...
Then who died?
There's gotta be... I don't think so. And there wasn't any description... Well, if we can't identify the body...
Yeah.
No, that's wrong. There was one clue left behind that we can use to identify the body.
What? For real?
If you're lying, you'll die a cruel and unusual death.
Cruel and unusual death. This I gotta see.
So any one of Monokuma's
She's just being stupid.
executions.
Ignore them, Makoto. Tell us what you're talking about.
The key to figuring out who it was is the tattoo on the back of her hand.
Oh, yeah. The design's pretty strange, huh? Is this a dog?
Her master must have made her get it. To be like, you're my bitch.
Really?
Seriously? They really did something that humiliating?
Are you as stupid as you look?
No, that's not it. The identity of the victim is hidden within that tattoo.
Someone gets
Oh,
it.
really?
Compare tattoo with other information we have.
I got it!
Oh, that was right. Okay.
The Fenrir Mercenary Corps. That's the name of the military group Mukuro Ikusaba belonged to.
Okay, so...
To show that they're a member of the team, each soldier that joins the squad would get a tattoo representing Fenrir somewhere on their body.
Fenrir?
Hangman's Gambit? Do we really need that? Oh. Ah, that wasn't that hard.
Now I understand. The representation of Fenrir is a wolf.
Fenrir, the Wolf of Ragnarok. It's from Norse mythology. A huge, world-ending wolf beast. He's the child of the trickster god Loki, and a female giant.
Man, after all this time, we finally got a glimpse of the literary all-star.
A wolf tattoo. Then that means...
Exactly. The body we found had a tattoo of a wolf, which means that person must have once belonged to Fenrir. So it must have been Mukuro.
What?
Hold on. Isn't she the one that was behind this whole thing?
You sound surprised, but you're absolutely right. Yes, indeed. The trial this time is to solve the murder of Mukuro Ikusaba.
Are you saying the mastermind is dead? And now we have to have a cool-ass trial?
No. It means we were wrong in thinking that Mukuro was the mastermind at all.
But I mean, being the ultimate despair seems like a pretty mastermindy title to me.
She wasn't the ultimate
Maybe
despair.
we shouldn't have been thinking of her as the ultimate despair in the first place. After all, looking at her profile, I didn't see anything that would fit such a description. All it said was that she was the ultimate soldier. If I remember correctly, that other information came from Kyoko. That's what you told Makoto, right?
So that means Kyoko got it wrong?
And who was she? Who was Mukuro Ikusaba? She's been gone this whole time? And when she finally turns up, she gets killed.
Usually when there's a scene where an important character dies, it has a lot more detail.
So you're saying she wasn't an important character, which would mean she was the same as us. Just another participant.
Then who's the real mastermind?
It must have been the Hope's Peak Academy headmaster
Nope.
after all.
No, the
No.
headmaster has nothing to do with it.
But how can we trust that? We already know your information about Mukuro was wrong.
My information was not wrong.
I'm gonna save.
Okay. We're in the middle of a trial right now. Figuring out who killed Mukuro is first and foremost. Please limit all future prattle, chatter, and chit-chat as much as possible.
Fine. Uncovering the identity of the mastermind will have to wait. But remember this, no matter what happens, we will find out who you really are. I stake my family name on it.
I have officially decided to completely ignore all such attempts at provocation. Now then, just so nobody's confused, let me state this one more time for the record. The reason we're having a class trial is because a murder among the students has taken place. Hammer that point straight into your big ol' brains!
What you're saying is that both the victim and the culprit are part of the student body?
Then, one of us killed Mukuro?
Wait, no! There's a chance that there's some mystery 17th person who's been hiding all along!
Nope! There are only 16 students in total that have been taking part in these events.
Seriously? Then one of us killed Mukuro?
Who did it? Who's the killer this time?
Get a hold of yourself. We've already narrowed down the list of possible suspects.
2.
I'm sure you realize who I'm talking about, right, Makoto? Who the evidence points to?
There can only be 2 suspects.
I got it! You've narrowed it down to Kyoko and me, right?
Why do you say that?
Allow me to explain. Just after nighttime last night, I went to the garden, so I can confirm that at that point, there was no dead body there. So, the murder must have taken place after I left the garden. However, Hiro, Toko, Hina, and I were in the gym the entire time.
The gym?
That's right. The 4 of us were there trying to dismantle Monokuma. The whole time, we were very careful not to go anywhere alone. We even went to the bathroom in pairs. All of which is to say, the 4 of us all have alibis. The only ones without alibis
Are me and Makoto. That's why you're able to narrow down the list of suspects.
exactly so.
So the only suspects now are me and Kyoko. Damn it. I can't let this stand. Somehow I have to clear my name.
I have something I'd like to say regarding the whole alibi thing.
Are you thinking of raising an objection?
Well, before that, I just want to try and get a better idea of what time the murder took place. Doing that might reveal some kind of clue.
Whatever you want. Somebody go ahead and help him out.
Me and Byakuya can both confirm that the body wasn't in the garden at... Well, it was after nighttime for sure. I'd say it must have been around 10 o'clock. So the murder must have happened after 10 p.m.
Then I guess we can say the time frame for the murder was between then and when we found the body?
I have a way to narrow it
Oh,
further.
What time did we find the body?
9.
The one who saw the body first was Toko, right? And she went to go get the pickaxe.
I got it!
Gotcha.
The body must have been discovered at 9 a.m., since that's when Toko went to get the pickaxe.
Now then, Toko, what time is it? Well, when we left the gym, it was just before 9 o'clock, so it's probably 9 on the dot now. Okay, go get the pickaxe and be back here by 9:01.
He's right. It had to be around then.
So we can be totally sure the murder happened sometime between 10 at night and 9 in the morning.
For me, I was already asleep before nighttime hit, so I don't have an alibi after 10 o'clock. but I'm sure I met up with everyone else before 9 this morning.
We ran into each other in the dining hall, right? That was around... Oh yeah! Right around 7:30. I remember
Got
checking
it.
right before I went in, so I'm totally sure about it.
Which means from 10 p.m. to 7:30 a.m., you don't have an alibi.
Happened between 10 p.m. and 9 a.m. And I don't have an alibi from 10 p.m. till 7:30. Okay, it looks like the game has begun. If I can't provide an alibi for that period, I just have to prove the murder didn't happen during the time I don't have the alibi. Which I do have evidence for, but I also have evidence proving that evidence wrong. Sprinklers.
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
Frickin'!
Shoot!
We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night and 9 o'clock in the morning.
Yep, and Makoto doesn't have an alibi for most of that time.
Yeah, from 10 o'clock to 7:30.
That's more than enough time to commit murder, I should think. So Makoto, if you have any objections, now would be the time. We've established a time frame for the murder. It took place somewhere between 10 o'clock at night.
Yes!
No, that's wrong.
Ah. There we go.
Actually,
It's
the
called
murder couldn't have
Danganronpa.
happened anywhere near 10 o'clock. It had to have taken place way later.
And what makes you say that?
Because of the sprinklers in the garden. The sprinklers are set to go off right at 7:30 every morning, right? So if the body had been in the garden before 7:30, then it should have been completely soaked.
Oh, hold on. I remember this part perfectly. The body was wet. Dripping wet, in fact.
Sorry, Toko, but you're wrong.
I'm wrong? How? Are you saying only the mouth down south was wet? How dare you spew such indecent words?
Alright then. Okay, we don't need you to go there, Toko.
No, I'm saying that the body was wet, but not because of the sprinklers.
What do you mean? By denying the sprinkler?
No
Are you trying
clue
to
how
deny
that's...
my entire existence?
No clue how that's spelled. It's in the title of the video.
Man, you're totally wacko.
If you really think it wasn't the sprinkler, you'd better tell us why!
We proved that it wasn't the sprinklers that got the body wet. All I have to do is hit Toko with certain evidence, and that should do it. Oh my god, bullet time? Okay, here we go, here we go, here we go.
I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough!
Okay.
Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. No, no, no! That's enough! Are you trying to blame me? I admit nothing. I'm right about this. How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
Are you kidding me?
I hate you. I don't know anything. Hold on. Are you trying to blame me? How can you say it wasn't the sprinkler?
This should prove it.
Yes! Oh.
Just remember what the body was like after the explosion, and you'll see why it wasn't the sprinklers.
Bullet time battles are so stressful.
The top half of the body was wet, yes, but the bottom half was completely dry. If the sprinklers got the body wet, shouldn't the whole body have been wet?
So they only got the top wet? The bottom was completely dry? What a brutal maniac!
I'm so sick of her.
Let's just move on. The reason only the top half was wet was because...
Oh, crap, I got that joke.
while the body was still on fire, I doused it with water. But only the part on fire, the top half.
We didn't need to see that again.
Oh, then I guess the sprinklers really didn't do it.
So if the sprinklers didn't get the body wet, then the murder must have taken place sometime after the sprinklers turned on at 7:30 in the morning.
Which means she must have been killed sometime between then and when the body was discovered at 9.
But Makoto's alibi was only missing from 10 o'clock last night to 7:30 this morning, right?
So there's no way Makoto could have done it. I guess you had an alibi after all. Good for you.
In which case, the only one left without an alibi is Kyoko.
I don't think she did it. I don't think Kyoko did it. But we know one of us is gonna get convicted. Kyoko's the only one without an alibi. Which would mean that Mukuro's killer is... No, I refuse to believe it. Kyoko murdered someone? That's...
I'd just like to say one thing. If you vote for me, and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen.
So are you saying you're not the culprit?
Of course I'm not. I have no reason to kill anyone.
This girl's Kyoko.
This is a trap the mastermind has laid for us.
A trap?
We're this far into the game and now you decide to blame me? Stop wasting time! Stop wasting energy! You really think your little trick is gonna work?
Shut up, you!
You got it, boss! Shutting up now!
What?
Anyway,
Shutting up now.
Kyoko, you actually did have a reason to kill her.
Huh? She did?
She thought Mukuro was the ultimate despair. In other words, the mastermind behind everything. So she killed her to try and put a stop to all this. Isn't that right, Kyoko? But you made one catastrophic mistake. Mukuro wasn't the mastermind at all.
The mastermind is controlling the demonic panda, which is a robot.
And as a result, we were forced into another trial. Something I'm sure you weren't at all expecting.
So, that was her motive?
If she had a motive and no alibi, well then, I think it's pretty clear Kyoko's gotta be the culprit.
Again, I don't think she did it.
I'm not the only one without an alibi. Makoto's explanation is still insufficient.
Really? Really? I thought we were friends, Kyoko. And you're just gonna throw me under the bus? Alright then.
Huh?
The sprinklers didn't get the body wet, but that doesn't mean the murder happened when he said it did.
What are you...
Because you see, there is a way the body could have avoided getting wet.
Interesting. I'm listening.
The tarp, right?
All it would take is covering the body with a certain
Yep,
something
it was the
to
tarp.
keep it from getting wet.
A certain something at that scene was, I believe... Where is it? Yeah, this thing.
I got it!
I got it! I'm convicting
You're
myself!
talking about the tarp, aren't you?
You catch on quick. You're right. All you'd have to do is cover the body with the tarp, and that'd take care of the water.
Hang on. Hang on. How would I have removed it then? Like,
In fact, that's exactly what the killer did. The dirt pattern on the tarp can attest to that. Only one side of the tarp got dirty, because that's the side that got covered in water. The side that faced down over the body, meanwhile, kept perfectly clean. This proves that the killer used the tarp to keep the body from getting soaked.
But why would they go to all that effort just to keep the body from getting wet?
Most likely so they could cloud the issue of when the murder actually took place. In other words, to create an excuse exactly like the one Makoto just gave us.
Why would Kyoko say that? Why would she want to make me look like the killer? No, I can't think about that right now. That tarp. If it was used the way Kyoko said, the tarp must have touched the body, right? There's no blood on it. But the body...
Wait. Something's not right.
And what might that be?
I can't worry about Kyoko's motivations. If I don't do something, everyone's gonna think I'm the killer. I have to refute what Kyoko said. Alright, here we go. Another non-stop debate. I should have saved. Why didn't I? Alright, knife at the crime scene, body before the explosion, exploded body analysis, fragments of the dead body, when the body was found.
By covering the body with the tarp, the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason the tarp was only dirty on one side...
Only dirty on one side.
...is the sprinkler got that side wet.
But the underside of the tarp, it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water.
What?
Shoot!
Ah.
By covering the body with the killer prevented it from getting wet.
So the reason that is because the spring... But the underside of it was totally spotless, right?
It's because that side was protected from the water. Since it was facing down toward the body, of course it didn't get dirty.
That's it.
No, that's wrong.
No, that's wrong!
Actually, one side being clean is pretty strange if you think about it. Because the blood wasn't dry before the body got blown up, right? Byakuya said it himself. Not to touch it, or you might get some on you. If you put a tarp on a body in that state, it absolutely would have gotten blood on it.
Well, maybe the culprit washed it, so nobody would know they'd used it.
It was dry.
If they had, they would have washed both sides. Just washing the one side wouldn't hide anything.
Oh, yeah, true.
More than that, what if the very blood we saw on the body was meant as a kind of camouflage?
Wow, you really want me dead, don't you?
What if, after the killer used the tarp to avoid the sprinklers, they then covered the body in blood that didn't belong to the victim?
You mean someone else's blood? Where would they get something like that?
But I have an alibi for doing that.
I know! They could have grabbed some of the blood packs from the nurse's office. That's what Hifumi did, right? When he pretended to be dead?
No, that's not what happened this time. The killer got the blood from right there in the garden.
We got the blood from right there in the garden, right? Which must mean... I'm not sure. Huh. Oh. Oh, crap.
Shoot!
You kidding me?
Shoot!
I'm actually starting to get mad.
I got it!
That's it.
Could it have been chicken blood?
What? Chicken blood?
When I checked the chicken coop before the murder, there were 5 chickens. But after the murder, there were only 4.
So, you're saying someone killed a chicken?
And I need to save, because I am very low on health.
Man, that's messed up.
Killing a living thing just to do something like that is awful. They should have at least eaten it.
Bad timing, Asahina.
I wonder if the killer had to get the blood from the scene so they wouldn't be spotted walking around. Anyway, there's no denying that a chicken went missing, which provides a basis for my theory.
Perhaps, but even so, there's one thing that still doesn't make sense. You said the culprit used the tarp to avoid the water and then covered the body in blood, right? But if that's the case, then the blood should have soaked into the ground around the body. But that's not what we saw. Only the victim's clothing had blood on it. The ground was completely clean.
True.
I have to agree, that certainly is strange. Maybe they didn't apply the blood at the scene. Maybe they covered the coat in blood beforehand.
They covered it beforehand?
When you discovered the body, was it wearing the coat like you normally would?
I think so.
No,
Wait.
it wasn't.
No. The head was through the neck hole, but the arms weren't in the sleeves.
And it was on backwards.
Then that settles it.
Sorry, I'm having a tough time keeping up. What settles what?
Here's what happened. The murder took place before the sprinklers went off, but the body didn't get wet because the killer covered it with the tarp. Then, later, at the same time the killer was gathering up the tarp, they pulled the coat over the body, the coat they'd already covered in blood. This series of cover-ups was meant to disguise the actual time the murder occurred. They wanted us to think the murder happened sometime after the sprinklers had gone off, at 7:30.
If that's actually what took place, it certainly becomes possible that the murder happened earlier.
But to pull all that off, wouldn't they have had to go back to the garden after the sprinklers turned off?
That actually wouldn't have been all that difficult.
Huh?
They already had the coat ready, so they just had to grab the tarp and pull the coat over the body.
But I was with everyone.
They'd be done in no time.
Maybe. But still...
Hina, after you met up with Makoto in the dining hall, did you two stay together from that point on?
Wait. No. No, we didn't.
Oh no. I headed off to the gym, and Makoto didn't show up till later.
Then he had plenty of time to spare, wouldn't you say?
That's not...
Don't bother saying it's not possible.
I must admit, Kyoko's reasoning is sound. Makoto's alibi is inadequate.
And the suspicion falls back on me again. But why? Why is Kyoko trying to entrap me? I don't understand.
Well then,
A new bullet.
looks like we're back to square one. Makoto's alibi is no good, so once again, our suspects are him and Kyoko.
For serious, man? Which one of them did it? Hey, why don't we let luck decide? Let's flip a coin. 50-50 odds.
Oh!
See? Pretty good idea, right?
No, not that. I just remembered something super serious.
Well, don't just stand there. Out with it.
You know that knife we found all black and burnt?
One we found stuck in the body before it exploded, right?
They're gonna argue it was in Makoto's room. Yep,
According to the Monokuma file, the knife...
we get it.
So, what about it?
I'm pretty sure I'd seen that knife somewhere before. That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Listen, more important, now that we have the knife, what are we gonna do with it?
We can't let Toko keep it, that's for sure. We don't know what she might do.
I don't want it anyway.
So what to do?
Why don't you hang on to it, Makoto?
Should have known.
It's the knife we gave to Makoto?
Why did I ever trust Kyoko?
You don't seem surprised. You must have noticed earlier.
Yeah,
Then why did you hide that fact?
it's not that I hid it. It's just...
I couldn't be sure of what actually happened that night. I thought maybe I really did kill her.
Suspicious. Very suspicious indeed. The knife we found stuck in the body came from Makoto. Now I'm totally convinced he did it. 12,000% convinced.
Considering everything up until now, I should be able to make it clear. I have to prove that I didn't murder anyone. I'm not the killer. Shit.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
I can only get...
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife once, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right? So there's no question. You took that knife of yours and killed her with it.
What a horrible man you are, Makoto.
Wait.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had the knife, that automatically makes me the killer?
Well, getting stabbed is what killed her, right?
You gotta shit me.
So, what about it?
I only have one health bar. One piece of health left.
I'm pretty sure
So
I've
if
seen
I
that knife
mess
somewhere
up once,
before.
I'm back to the main menu.
That's what I thought when I first saw it. I just remembered.
Suspicious.
Okay. That was a good spot to save it. I don't get it. I just don't get it.
The knife we found lodged in the dead body.
It's the same one we gave to Makoto.
It really is, isn't it? I was afraid of that.
If he did have that knife before, then that seals it. Makoto did it.
Just because I had that automatic?
Well, getting stabbed is...
Oh, yeah!
That's wrong.
Whew. I was just talking out my rear end there.
Wait, hold on. The stab wound isn't what killed Mukuro. That should be clear from the description of the cover-up we just heard.
Lies! We never talked about what killed her.
No, don't you remember? The killer covered the dead body with the tarp, and then put the bloody coat on it, right? In other words, the victim never wore that blood-stained coat until after they were dead.
Okay, fine. So what?
So, when we discovered the body,
The knife was through the coat. Of course.
the knife had been thrust through the coat along with the body. Meaning, if she wasn't stabbed until the coat was put on, and she was already dead at that point, obviously the stab wound isn't what killed her.
Maybe you stabbed her twice. Once to kill her and once to cover it up.
No way that's possible. The Monokuma file, right? Yep, Monokuma file. Okay, I've got a little leeway
The
now.
file clearly states that there was only one stab wound.
Oh yeah, it sure did. I totally forgot about that.
Then the knife...
Was just another piece of camouflage set up by the true killer. They probably stabbed her to draw attention away from what actually killed her. Exploding the body afterward was probably meant to do the same thing. The explosion severely damaged the body, making it impossible to know what really killed her. It was all the killer's attempt to destroy all evidence of their crime.
So they wanted us to notice the stab wound and then detonated the body afterward. They meant for us to latch onto the knife as the cause of death, then destroy any evidence proving otherwise.
Oh, hey, I have a question. It kinda goes back to the beginning, but what's the deal with that explosion anyway? Why'd the body just blow up all of a sudden?
I have evidence of that. But with how low I am on health right now, I need to save as much as as often as possible.
If you bothered to put that lump of gray matter between your ears to use, you'd know the answer.
Well, if you're so smart, just tell me.
I'll tell you. I bet some unknown quantum particle caused an atomic level spontaneous combustion!
I might be dumb, but even I'm not dumb enough to believe that.
Go ahead, Makoto. Tell her or we won't make any headway on this.
Only one explanation I can think of for the explosion, and that is this thing.
I got it! After the explosion, we found a tiny fragment of something on the ground near the body, right? That fragment reveals the cause of the explosion.
Huh? You know, I feel like I've seen something like it somewhere before.
That's only natural. Because, of course, we saw the same thing when we dismantled Monokuma. It's part of a bomb.
Oh! Then the explosion was because of the Monokuma bomb.
Anyway, the culprit's motive is becoming more and more obvious by the minute. They wanted the knife wound to look like the fatal injury so that we'd suspect Makoto. And the only one who would benefit from that is the only other possible suspect. You, Kyoko.
Hold on a second, Byakuya.
What's the problem?
Well, I just feel like we need to think this through. We still don't know what actually killed the victim.
That's true. It's definitely bugging me. What really killed her?
Fine. I have no problem with that. Let us continue the debate. It won't change the facts of the case regardless.
We need to determine what ultimately killed Mukuro. I need to concentrate. How the hell did I not save? Oh, only three. Monokuma file number 5. Monokuma file number 5. That's the evidence.
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
I don't know,
The
actually.
explosion didn't kill her for sure.
I'm not sure.
I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
Screw me.
Shoot!
Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal injury has yet to be determined, correct?
The explosion didn't kill her for sure. I guess.
Well, yeah. She was already totally dead when that happened.
And it wasn't because of the knife, right? And then there's only one other thing.
Oh yeah. According to the Monokuma file, that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back of her head.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body. Then, shall we continue the debate? The victim's fatal
Injury has yet to be determined, correct?
Oh. Frickin'. I know what I did wrong. Well, I'm out of health, so I'm just gonna reset it. Hey, Krista.
If
I got it!
Oh!
is the only other Fine. I have no problem with that. It won't change the fact.
Okay, here we go. No, I know exactly what we need to do. There's a reason they gave me so few bullets.
Then shall we continue? The victim's fatal.
The explosion didn't kill.
Well, yeah.
And it wasn't then.
Oh yeah. According to the that's gotta be it. There was evidence that showed she was hit on the back.
And more than that, the victim had suffered countless wounds across her entire body.
This is it.
Then shall we continue
the debate? The victim's
Fatal injury has...
Got it.
No, that's wrong. Mukuro died because of the blow to the back of the head she suffered.
What about the wounds all over the rest of her body? They didn't have anything to do with it?
The Monokuma file makes it clear that those weren't fresh wounds.
Oh yeah, good point. If they were old, I guess they don't really matter.
I forgot that.
Okay, then we're safe in assuming the blow to the back of her head is what killed her.
But then, what was the murder weapon? The Monokuma file says she was hit with a blunt object, about as thick as a metal pipe.
Oh, I bet it was the pickaxe!
How is that even possible? If you hit someone with that, it'd cave their skull in completely.
Well, maybe they held it the other way and hit her with the handle.
That's impractical.
No way! The balance would be all off. You wouldn't be able to swing it with any kind of power. I wouldn't mind testing it on you if you want.
No thanks. I bet you just hit me with the metal end and call it an accident.
I'd love to scoop out that nasty brain of yours, throw it on the ground and spit on it.
I'd like to see that too.
I feel the same way. Looks like we're on the same page this time.
Seriously?
We want to figure out what killed her, right? It just so happens we already know.
We already know? I knew we could count on you, Master.
Shut up! Oh my god!
So what was it?
Go ahead and tell them, Makoto. Surely you've deduced the real murder weapon?
Thick as a metal pipe. The real murder weapon. No. It's not the arrows, is it?
I got it!
Oh my god, it is.
Mukuro was hit in the back of the head with something. And that's what killed her. And that something was the titanium arrow we found in the locker in the dojo.
An arrow? That's what the culprit attacked Mukuro with?
Indeed. There's no doubt about it.
Are you sure? That sounds kind of weird.
Not too far-fetched. It's made of titanium.
Hey! How dare you backtalk, Master? You have no right!
I'm not backtalking anything. I'm just saying what I think.
I don't blame Hina for doubting it, because there's one more thing about that weapon, and I should be able to save here. Yes, I can. One more secret. Bloody duct tape, Kyoko's account, Monokuma's account, wood block key, titanium. Oh.
The titanium arrow. It was in the dojo locker, right? I have no doubt that was the murder weapon.
Are you sure?
You don't sound convinced. What's the problem?
Well, 'cause in the Monokuma file, it said the weapon must have been about as thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too thin.
Oh,
Talking back to Master.
I get it.
You have no right!
I get it.
the titanium, it was in the dojo. I have no doubt.
Are you sure?
You don't sound...
Well, It said the weapon must have been about
This
as
is it.
thick as a metal pipe, right? It seems like an arrow would just be too...
No, that's wrong.
Got it.
You're right. Just the one arrow would have been too weak. That's why the killer used another weapon.
Another weapon?
Inside the dojo locker, we also found a balled-up wad of duct tape. The killer probably used this duct tape to bind multiple arrows together. Bundling them together using the duct tape would easily create a single weapon as thick as a pipe. And that's exactly what the killer did.
It's similar to Aesop's fable about the bundle of sticks. One stick is weak, but put them together, and they become strong. It's meant to teach cooperation.
Damn, that's harsh.
How is it harsh? Are you even listening?
Anyway, that explains the murder weapon. As for who the culprit is that stashed the weapon in the dojo locker, it was you, Kyoko.
I've never been to the dojo.
I saw you in there. What the crap?
Oh no, you absolutely have.
How can you say that with such confidence?
Because we have proof, of course. Don't we, Makoto?
Oh.
What's the matter? Surely you don't intend to protect a murderer. You know what will happen if you do, don't you? If you cover for the culprit, there's only one thing that can lead to the death of us all. Remember?
Of course I remember.
Then show us. Show everyone the evidence that proves Kyoko went to the dojo.
I have evidence? Evidence that Kyoko went to the dojo? Oh, I have to show it? Frick! Yep. It's this thing.
I got it! The one thing that proves Kyoko was in the dojo is right here. The key to the dojo locker.
And how does that prove anything?
Because I found it in your room.
It was in my room?
Don't bother trying to play dumb. That key is just the final piece of the puzzle. Your non-existent alibi, your clear motive, your attempts to frame Makoto for the crime. This all proves that you are the true culprit. You can't explain this away, so just give.
Hold on a second.
Not this again. You really are dead set on defending her, aren't you?
No, it's not that I want to defend her. It's just, there's one more thing I need to ask her. Kyoko, I want you to tell me something. Last night, you were in my room, weren't you? Why? What were you doing there? That's what I need to know.
I was just protecting you.
What?
She was protecting me? Then does that mean she knew I was being attacked? And she came to my rescue. Could that be when? Which would mean that Kyoko, she killed someone? For me?
That's enough. The time for idle chatter is over. A verdict is close at hand.
Wait, I'm warning you. Don't make this mistake. I'm not the killer.
I knew you were stubborn, but this is just getting...
Come on, there has to be a way to save her.
Really? But you should know better than anyone I didn't do it. Can you tell me I'm wrong?
I should know.
What? Byakuya should know better than anyone? What does that mean? Oh, thank God. We're not at a verdict yet. We're not dead yet. We blocked key when the body was found. Oh, Byakuya's account. I have to look at that. There was no corpse in the garden after nighttime last night, so it can be assumed the murder must have taken place sometime after that. Byakuya also said that he, Yasuhiro, Toko, and Aoi were in the gym the entire night and none of them were alone at any point. I don't think that's it. I think it's something else.
Those words...
When the body was found. 7 a.m. Makoto awakes to the morning announcement. 7:30 a.m. Makoto and Aoi arrive at the dining hall. 7:30 to 9 a.m. Makoto meets the others in the gym, and together they head to the headmaster's room. Okay.
Exactly what I said.
The key. What's... anything weird about the key? Wood block decoration was found in Kyoko's room. It looks like it's actually the key to one of the lockers in the dojo. Okay.
I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Oh, this is an absorption one.
What are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
Yes, he would.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime in the dojo locker, and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
Yakuya should know that Kyoko didn't do it. But why him?
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit. Is that what you're saying?
You stated a theory earlier. You said I hid the evidence of my crime and then left the locker key in my own room, correct? But could I really have done that?
I'm not sure I understand.
Those words you just spoke. What do you mean?
Exactly what I said. I'm not the killer. You should understand that more than anyone here.
Byakuya, what are you hiding?
Master would never hide something from me.
There's proof that you aren't the culprit.
Oh, yeah.
No, that's wrong.
If I'm right, Kyoko wouldn't have been able to get into her room.
Huh? Why not?
Because she had given her room key to Byakuya.
Of course. Of course.
I see. So that's what you meant. And if I had the key to your room...
Then obviously I had no way of getting in. Without my room key, I couldn't have possibly put the locker key in there myself. Am I wrong?
It would appear not.
Then you're finally starting to understand.
No, that's not actually true. And that's also when I should save. There was a clear contradiction in what Kyoko just told us. An obvious lie. But this just isn't like her. To try and save herself with such a desperate lie? Does she really feel that threatened? Because she's the killer? Or is it something else? Was there some deeper meaning hidden in what Kyoko said earlier? If you vote for me and I die here, the mystery of this school will stay hidden forever. Which is why I can't let that happen. This is a trap the Mastermind has laid for us. The Mastermind's trap. The Mastermind is trying to trap Kyoko. But what if that's not really true? What can I do? What should I do? What should I? The Mastermind's trap? The victim was Mukuro, and Kyoko killed her. What does Kyoko really know? What am I supposed to do? Kyoko's lie. I'm the only one who knows it's a lie. I'm the only one who can expose it. But who can I trust? What am I supposed to do? The Mastermind's trap. If you spend all your time trying to avoid danger, you'll never move forward. We know the danger, but if that risk means solving the mystery, we have no choice. Am I wrong? What do I do? I have to decide right here. Right here and now whether to not expose Kyoko's lie. We're gonna I feel like I might regret this. We're gonna let it go. I've made my decision. I have to believe in Kyoko. There's no way she would kill someone. There has to be some secret here. Something that has to do with the Mastermind's trap that Kyoko mentioned.
Well, does no one have a rebuttal? Have you decided to accept her assertion as fact? I see. So you still refuse to accept it. I suppose we have to admit that Kyoko didn't put the locker key in her room. That it was someone else.
But who else could it have been?
I mean, Byakuya had a room key, right?
You! What are you trying to imply?
But of course I have an alibi. From nighttime on, I was with you guys the entire time. I couldn't possibly have killed anyone, or put the key in Kyoko's room.
Well, someone had to put the key in there.
There's only one other possibility I can think of. Someone could have had the key on them, then once they arrived at the scene, pretended to find it there.
What? It had to be Makoto, right?
I don't see any other option.
Wait a second. You've got it all wrong. Let's think about it one more time. There's gotta be a hidden side to this case.
Huh? A hidden side?
First of all, there's something off about this entire trial. You all see it, don't you? Mukuro, who we didn't even know existed, suddenly shows up dead. And then we're thrown into a trial. And Kyoko even said, it's a trap the Mastermind set for—
Okay, time's up!
Kyoko was right. This is a trap. The Mastermind is trying to off her.
Huh? Time's up! Class trial's all over! Everyone can stop talking now!
What? Time's up?
What do you mean time's up? There's no time's up. Since when have we...
It's because you were late, so we had to push back the start time. So then, it's time for voting time, okay? Everyone, please vote using the lever in front of you!
Voting time?
It's gonna be me. I'm gonna get executed.
Now, who will be chosen as the blackened? Will you make the right choice or the dreadfully wrong one?
Hey, hold on!
What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be?
I knew it. What? You think I'm the killer? Sorry, man.
Sorry.
It's all your fault. Everyone, you're wrong. You've got it all wrong. I didn't do it.
Yes, indeed.
Good job, everyone!
Good job.
Yep.
They got it right!
Oh, bull fucking shit. No, I know that's not true. None of this makes any sense. The whole trial doesn't make any sense.
Hey!
Makes perfect sense!
So they were trying to, clearly Monokuma was trying to off either me or Kyoko. Because we've been the ones solving all the cases. So he had to get rid of us somehow. And he decided to stage a murder. Well, I mean, the murder was real. He just did it.
It's the same as always. It's just like the other class trials, and it's gonna end the same way.
Thrills, chills.
It's time for your heart-pounding, positively thrilling punishment.
Wait, why do I... Kyoko!
I don't expect you to forgive me. I know this is all my fault.
Kyoko?
Let's give it everything we've got. It's punishment time.
Oh, God. Makoto has been found guilty. Time for the punishment. Are you serious? How does this relate to being the ultimate lucky student? Every other punishment has been related to the ultimate status of the That proves this is a setup. And so we just get crushed. Oh, hang on. This was in the intro. I remember this. This was in the intro. After school lesson. Oh, God. Oh, this was also in the intro. So clearly, actually, yes, this was the right thing we're supposed to do. No, alter ego? Oh my God, alter ego saved us! Well, don't know if he saved us from this fall, but alter ego definitely saved us from getting crushed. Don't know if the fall will kill me though.
What's this? What's going on? Hey, was that?
Yeah, it had to be. Alter ego.
Alter ego? Is that some stupid virus from that stupid guy? He must have planted it when he invaded my network. Damn it all to hell, I don't believe this.
It would seem...
It seems you finally made a miscalculation. No, you miscalculated from the very beginning.
What the heck?
What was that?
What
I'm saying is, you shouldn't have underestimated us. Why are you talking like you've already won? I barely felt a thing. It was a pinch, an itch. That stupid virus is gone now, got it? And so is Makoto. Maybe I didn't get to smash him flat, but you're never gonna see him again. To waste away in a garbage-strewn pit, in a way, that's an even better special punishment. But it's still not enough. I'm still not satisfied. I'm still gonna bring despair to the rest of you. Bring despair to the entire world.
Is he gone? Hey, Kyoko, what is the meaning of this? Just what the hell is going on?
Calm down.
It's okay. We're not the ones being trapped this time.
In other
Now
words,
it's the mastermind that's ensnared.
What did you say?
so...
You'll understand soon enough. Very soon indeed.
The massive high school towers over all the other buildings in the bustling urban area. Wait, this looks like the beginning of the game. This is just like the beginning of the game. It's like the school stands at the center of the entire world. Oh, this is this is the beginning of the game. Hope's Peak Academy. It brings in top students from every field imaginable. A government-funded school of privilege. They say that if you come here and manage to graduate, you'll be set for life. With hundreds of years of tradition, it sends the cream of the crop to the workforce every year. It was built to raise hope in the nation's future, which makes Hope's Peak a pretty fitting name. There are 2 things you need to attend this school. 1, you have to already be attending high school. 2, you have to be the very best at what you do. No ordinary student could enroll here. The only way in is if you're scouted by the school itself. And standing there at the gate of the ultimate school filled with the ultimate students was me. Oh, more parts near the beginning. More flashbacks.
What? Where am I?
I woke up with my head resting on top of a hard wooden desk. My body felt heavy. It wouldn't be weird for me to zonk off in the middle of some boring class or whatever, but what was I doing here asleep just now? This wasn't any classroom I've ever been in before. What the heck is going on? Oh, welcome back to reality. Finally. I could finally feel my mind and body starting to come back together again. I was awake. Or was this just another dream? A dream inside a hopeless nightmare. Is that the rocket from the beginning of the game? No, this isn't a dream. I could tell because the stench invading my nostrils was too powerful to be a dream. What an awful smell! I was in a vast, dark cavern, with the barest hint of light seeping in. I don't know, it looks pretty freaking bright to me. Trash was piled high all across the area. This must be some kind of underground garbage pit. A heck of a situation to find myself in. So I'm wondering if we could have convicted Kyoko and if that would have gotten us a bad ending. I'll have to look that up later. But that was just the beginning of my problems. Was I going to be stuck in there till I wasted away and died? No, I can't let that happen. Not after what my good friend went through to save me. I remembered all too well what had happened. Alter ego saved me. And he used up the last of his strength to do it. So I can't give up now. For myself and for my friend. And with that, my pursuit of survival began. First up was to start looking for a way out of here. I gotta be a little quieter right now. Apparently my brother is getting really pissed off with me. And he's in the room directly below me. So I might have to cut the voices for a little bit. Okay. Okay, let's start examining. This is a desk. It's probably the one that fell down here with me. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to do voices. Is that an airplane? How'd something like that wind up in the school's garbage pit? I think the rocket's pretty important. That's a rocket and a tank. Better not think too much about what I'm seeing down here. It's locked. No matter how many times I pushed, or pulled, or kicked at it, it didn't budge. Getting out of here isn't gonna be that easy. Well, if I'm not getting out of here anytime soon. I decided to look around for some food. There's plenty of food here, but it's all rotten. But that was pointless too. Next, I searched for some water. How can I be sure which liquids I can drink and which ones are all around bad idea? Again, pointless. I felt like I'm blocked in on all sides. But that's still not enough reason to give up. Because I'm still alive. As long as I'm alive, I'll never give up. After making that proud declaration, the next thing I decided to do was go to sleep. My sleep was deep and uninterrupted. That was my only way to preserve what little strength I had left after not being able to eat or drink. I can't be sure, but I think at least a full day had to have passed. And all I did was sleep and sleep. It was like I was waiting for some kind of sign to come falling out of the sky. However, What fell from the sky wasn't a sign. Not exactly. Crunch. Interesting automatopoeia choice. What the? The strange sound pierced my silent isolation, jarring me awake. As I watched, the pile of garbage jostled and formed an odd shape. Did something fall down over there? Something fell from up above. What could it have been? Alright, I'm gonna wait for another minute before I do, just to make sure that I give my brother the 5 minutes of quiet voices that I promised him. I remember in the anime, Junko and the Ultimate Soldiers are sisters or something like that. You really need to stop posting spoilers. I know for a fact that the anime is based on the events of the game. So anything that happens in the anime happens in the game. So stop talking about stuff like that. Alright, that's 5 minutes. Let's do this. Did a giant piece of trash just fall down here? I carefully stretched my hands out towards whatever it was that had tumbled down here with me.
Just a second.
Kyoko, coming to rescue me. I certainly hope so. She has that key, so she can get me out of here, correct? Said it opened every door in the... And again, why couldn't she have just come down here? Before she even emerged from the pile of garbage, I knew who it was.
It smells awful.
Oh my god. Why do you have that on your head? Kyoko?
Indeed.
You look like you're doing better than I expected. What are you doing here?
So...
Isn't it obvious? I'm here to help you. I'm glad to hear that, Kyoko. You got a bit of garbage in your hair.
She ever had a quick sharp shake to get rid of the trash, then face me again.
Hey.
First, I have something for you. Go ahead and eat it. We can talk once you're finished. Thank you!
I snatched the bread and water that she was holding out for me. Within seconds, it was in my mouth and making its way down towards my stomach.
Ooh, that really hit the spot. Oh, now I've got all the energy I need to keep going. So you still haven't given up, then? Of course not! After all, the fact that I can't keep going forward is about all I'm good at.
Hmm?
Well, that's not such a bad thing to be good at. But Kyoko, why'd you come to rescue me?
So...
To pay a debt. Or, no, to atone. Atone?
You...
During the trial, even though you knew I was lying, you didn't say anything. So you knew that I knew.
Indeed.
But even though I knew, I did nothing to help you. I abandoned you. Don't say that! You didn't abandon me! No, that's exactly what I did. I abandoned you in order to save my own life. You were trying to save me, and I couldn't bring myself to do the same for you.
However...
But listen, not that I'm trying to make excuses, but there was a reason that I had to survive, no matter the cost. Why'd you have to survive?
It's true.
I'll tell you. I'll tell you everything.
Thank you, you kinda owe me.
The reason I have to survive...
In other words...
is so that I can do what I came to this school to do.
Does that mean she's remembered her title?
What? I made up my mind to come to Hope's Peak Academy for one very important reason.
So you have some reasons for coming to Hope's Peak?
Indeed.
That's right. At least, I did once. Until recently, I'd forgotten what it was. You forgot? But that's... I have no memory of what my purpose was. No memory? That's impossible. Amnesia? Then it is really true. You lost your memory?
Makoto.
Do you remember, Makoto? Do you remember the first thing that happened to each of us as soon as we arrived at this school? The first thing? You're talking about when we fainted, right? I fainted, and when I woke up, I was trapped here.
That's right.
I fainted too, and when I woke up, I noticed a strange feeling of separation within myself. A disconnect.
It would seem...
Thinking back on it now, at that point my memory was gone. At that time, I'd forgotten. I couldn't remember why I'd come to this school, and I couldn't remember what my ultimate ability was. But what would make you forget all that?
Hey.
Strange, isn't it? It's hard to imagine it happening by chance. It seems much too convenient. Are you saying you think you lost your memory because...
Indeed.
I don't think. I'm positive it was the work of the mastermind. They stole my memory. But why would they do that? There's only one reason I can come up with. Because of my purpose and my ability. Somehow that would interfere with the mastermind's plans. So the mastermind just stole them from you?
However...
And it could also mean, somehow, my memories may be connected to the mystery of this school and the mastermind. Which is why I have to get them back. That's why I've been investigating things by myself this whole time. But if what you say is true, why didn't you ask the rest of us to help you?
Why is that?
If I did that and we all worked as one, the mastermind would have noticed right away. Plus, there's always the chance that the mastermind is actually one of us. What?
Correct.
Well, don't make too big a deal of it. It's just a possibility. But since it is a possibility, we can't ignore it, right? The mastermind, one of us. She believed that, and of course she couldn't trust anyone around her. In which case, it only makes sense that she would look into her missing memory by herself.
However...
That being said, there was a limit to what I could do by myself, which is why I asked you to help me. But why me? Because you're the main character, of course. No, because among everyone, you were least likely to be the mastermind. That was just intuition, but... I see. Your intuition was right, though. There's no way an ordinary kid like me could have been the mastermind.
I understand. I should understand everything. My goal isn't to get out of here. It's to stay here.
Ugh. It's just like that dream I had before, but... Why did that just happen?
Listen.
Are you okay? Oh, yeah, it's nothing. It is nothing, right?
Hey.
Even now, I still trust you, you know? It's just, I'm not used to relying on others.
Correct.
I know I never asked you for help the right way, so I understand if you're not convinced. Honestly, I was convinced. I think that's just her personality. You said you had a reason for doing all that investigating on your own. So how'd that turn out? Were you able to remember anything?
So...
I think there's a lot I don't remember, but at the very least, I was finally able to recall my purpose and my ability. Kyoko is probably the ultimate lawyer. Maybe. Earlier, I guess, like, ultimate investigator or detective. Something like that. So I'm curious to see if I actually called it or not. We're about to find out. You mentioned your ability? My ability. What everyone should have known me for. I knew it. I called it. Oh, it feels great. I'm the ultimate detective. The ultimate detective?
Correct.
And the reason I came to Hope's Peak Academy, there was someone I had to find here in the school. You had to find someone? Who?
So...
Well, it was the headmaster of Hope's Peak Academy. The headmaster? Why did you want to find the headmaster? Because he's my father. Oh, man. Oh, man. It's about time. We finally got into the nitty-gritty details. The true story of Danganronpa.
I feel like it's starting to unfold. The headmaster was a Kirigiri.
What?
In other words,
I was separated from him as a child. As it turns out, he became the headmaster of Hope's Peak. Kyoko's dad is Hope's Peak's headmaster? Then that explains what Alter Ego told us, how he thought the headmaster was involved.
I'll find a way. Okay. It's all coming together.
No matter what it takes, I will find the headmaster.
No matter what?
No matter the cost.
So,
Kyoko, what's going on? My memory hadn't come back at that point, but when he said that, I felt strange. It makes perfect sense now, of course, since my whole purpose for coming here was to find him. That makes sense.
However...
But listen, Makoto, I want to make things perfectly clear so there's no misunderstanding. I said the headmaster wasn't the mastermind, but I didn't say that to protect him. I only said what I felt based on what I'd seen when I snuck into the headmaster's room. Then what did you see in there?
So...
The room had been ransacked. The shelves were a mess. The desk drawers jumped on the floor. The only conclusion is that someone who didn't know where anything was had been in there. You mean the mastermind, right?
It's true.
That was my assumption, yes. And to confirm my suspicions, I decided to investigate the second floor of the dorms using the key I had found. But why there? Because I also found this in the headmaster's room. Some kind of map?
Indeed.
It's a layout of the entirety of Hope's Peak Academy. I found it in the headmaster's room, along with MUKURO's profile and that key. The map showed that the second floor was home to a number of rooms meant for faculty use. Some of the staff must have had to stay overnight from time to time. And I figured the headmaster would have some kind of private room there. I assumed that if that were true, that room would likely hold more clues, so I went to check.
Correct.
And that's when I finally remembered. I remembered that my purpose was to find the owner of that room. So you went to see if the headmaster really did have a private room there?
However,
once I got there, I noticed that the second floor of the dorms didn't have any cameras or monitors. So what was it like, that part of the school, I mean? It's hard to describe. All I can say is, the moment I saw it, I realized whatever's going on in this school is more horrific than we ever imagined. What do you mean?
So...
I can't explain it. You need to see it for yourself, and I'm sure you'll get your chance soon enough.
Sounds like it must be important. And really ominous. I better talk to Kyoko. Oh. Okay, once again.
However...
Of course, once I got to the second floor of the dorms, there were no cameras and no monitors, which is why I had no idea what was going on in the rest of the building. It has to do with MUKURO Ikusaba, doesn't it?
However...
Just to be perfectly clear, I didn't kill her. And I know it wasn't you either. I know you're right, but that just means everyone but you and me had an alibi. So then who did kill her?
Anyway...
What I can say for sure is that the mastermind is directly involved. To begin with, the point of the class trial of MUKURO Ikusaba was to get me killed. Get you killed?
Indeed.
I stole that key and disappeared, and in retaliation, he wanted to draw me out and eliminate me.
Correct.
That was the point of the class trial. It was? The mastermind knew they couldn't interfere directly. You mean because of the school regulations?
That's right.
Exactly. With minimal restrictions, you are free to explore Hope's Peak Academy at your discretion.
In other words...
The mastermind is adamant about following the rules, and with the rule in place, they couldn't step in. Since they couldn't kill me themselves, they tried to use the class trial to do it.
The mastermind couldn't step in because of the rules? That makes it sound like mastermind themselves is somehow bound by the school regulations.
Hey.
There's one other thing I'd like to point out about the murder of MUKURO Ikusaba.
What's that?
There was a point where MUKURO may not have become the victim. It could have been you, Makoto. I could have become the victim?
Indeed.
You know what I'm talking about, right? Do you mean...
Yep. Kyoko saved my life.
During the night. I can hear them, you know. The footsteps of the god of death. What? I can hear the god of death as he moves. The ability naturally draws me into cases just like this.
Anyway...
Which is exactly what happened with you. I was in the dorms, and I had a sudden sense of dread. I looked down the stairwell, and I saw a white shadow cross the corridor. I gave chase right away. As I followed it, I saw the shadow go into your room.
Correct.
I ran into your room, and I saw what was happening. I intervened immediately, of course.
However...
That wasn't the end of things, of course. I stopped them, but that led to... Whoever the marked assailant was, they ended up dead.
Correct.
And their murder was disguised, and the dojo key wound up in my room. It all has to be the work of the mastermind, in an attempt to use the class trial to eliminate me. So all this would mean whoever killed Mukuro is also the mastermind, right?
Indeed.
I don't have conclusive evidence, but that's what I think. But that's really bad if true. He's the mastermind, can kill whoever they want if they feel like it. Wait. Doesn't that create another contradiction? The mastermind wanted to use the class trial to try and kill you, because they couldn't interfere, right?
Correct.
You're right, that is a contradiction. And not just Mukuro. They needed the class trial to kill me, but seemed ready to kill you in your room. Everything they did is a contradiction. So what does it all mean?
In other words...
It means that the mastermind is the one who's been cornered. Huh?
Makoto.
Just a little more. A little more and I should be able to figure out the mastermind's identity. The identity of the other ultimate despair. The other ultimate despair? There's no doubt that Mukuro was the ultimate despair and that she's dead. But I don't think the ultimate despair is just one person. It's not?
Indeed.
If you think about it, the ultimate despair seems to implicate whoever caused that event. You're talking
That's
about
right.
what happened a year ago. The biggest, most awful, most tragic event in human history. The tragedy. Whoever's responsible for that, they're the ultimate despair.
It seemed...
That despicable group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. Then they're...
Indeed.
Make no mistake. They're the root of all the evil that has forced us to go through this. That is the ultimate despair. And that is our real enemy.
I got the rocket? Seriously, I got the blast off as a present. Achievement unlocked, 5 alive. Technically there are 6, but whatever. The ultimate despair. Group of people who caused the tragedy 1 year ago. Those same people put together this killing game and began broadcasting it around the world. The most desperately awful group of people ever. That is the mastermind's true identity. Our enemy has finally been revealed. But right now...
Anyway...
Right now we have to get out of this horrible place. Figuring out the rest of the story can come after. Yeah, you're right.
It's locked, but we have a way to open the door.
Kyoko, do you still have that one thing? Monokuma's secret tool that you got from the headmaster's room?
Indeed.
Of course I do. It's an absolute vital part of ensnaring the mastermind. I would never part with it. And it can open any door in the school, right?
That's right.
Then we should be able to use it on that door, right?
Hey, Kyoko, we can use that key of yours to open this door, right?
It's true.
Kyoko took out the key with the Monokuma design on it and slid it into the keyhole. Sorry, Christo, we're not gonna be that flashy. And then...
Yes, it opened!
Indeed.
And now we can get out of here. Let's go. Sounds good.
We quickly opened the door and made our escape to the garbage pit. I'm gonna turn my fan on. Finally. We were finally free. It's getting a little warm in here. Sorry about the background noise that will be... But this is how it's going to be for the remainder of the stream. My room gets really hot really quickly. We were finally free. But there wasn't even time to take a breath of relief, because the real fight had just begun. Ultimate pain, ultimate suffering, ultimate despair, ultimate execution, ultimate death. Danganronpa. After leaving the garbage pit, we found ourselves in a tunnel extending straight up like a chimney. There was a metal ladder leading up into the tunnel. We started climbing the ladder, intent on reaching the surface. The ladder was impossibly long. I couldn't even see where it ended. Oh god. Kyoko, why is she wearing heels? Why is she trying to climb a ladder wearing heels? Yeah, she is. Genocider's still alive. We climbed into darkness. The passage was so dark and cramped I couldn't even see my own feet beneath me. I had no idea we were so far down.
Hey.
Don't lose your footing. If you slip, I won't be able to catch you. Yeah, I'll be careful.
But now that you've said that, I get kind of nervous. Maybe talking will help keep my mind off it.
So, Kyoko, there's something I wanted to ask you. You said you're the ultimate detective, right? So how long have you been doing detective work? How long?
So...
Ever since I can remember. I come from a long line of detectives. Detective work is in my blood. There was a time when being a detective was considered a sacred duty. My family's always seen it that way. Then, is your family famous?
Wrong.
Quite the opposite, actually. Even among actual detectives, many people haven't heard of us. But how come? It's like your family's tradition, right? So,
Right.
because we take pride in it.
Pride?
Indeed.
A detective is neither light nor shadow. We represent neither justice nor evil. That is how we can uncover the absolute truth. We stand neutral in all things, and to do that, we have to stand separate from the world, from the rest of society. Which is why we make a conscious effort to conceal our existence. A conscious effort?
It's true.
It's kind of old-fashioned, and I can't say it's entirely rational. But it's our family creed, and we do what we must to protect it. Because, it's like I said, it's our source of pride.
Pride. So that explains. Before I came here, when I was looking up info about the school online, I never saw anything about her. Because she hid herself on purpose to protect the pride of her family.
However...
And yet, I gave up some of that pride. Huh? In order to enter Hope's Peak, I had to reveal myself to the school. I didn't knowing it was something a true Kirigiri detective would never do.
But the reason you gave up that pride, the reason you would go so far to enter Hope's Peak,
It was because that's how much you wanted to reconnect with your dad, right? There's no shame in that.
What?
Reconnect? I had absolutely no desire to reconnect with my father. But you'd be reuniting after all those years, right? You would have had so much to talk about.
Wrong.
There's nothing I want to talk to my father about.
However...
There's something I want to say to him, though. What? No matter what it takes, I have to find him and tell him, face to face. What is it?
So...
I want to sever all ties with him.
Damn. 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 Wow. Okay. Yeah. Indeed.
It's the last time I saw him, I was still very young. So I don't remember myself, but apparently he was extremely intelligent. He was in line to become the next head of the Kirigiri family. He was talented, he had a promising future.
However...
But he had no interest in detective work, so he cut himself off from the family. Not long after that, my mother died, and he simply ran away. He went to my grandfather, and they had a huge argument. As young as I was, he left me behind. I'm sure there was a reason for that. I'm sure your dad wanted to take you with him.
Right.
If that's true, then I need to thank him. Thank him for leaving me. Because unlike him, I take pride in the work I do. I take pride in my family name. So every last part of me is happy that he didn't take me with him. If I'd gone with him, I never would have had the chance to become a detective.
I was above Kyoko on the ladder, so I wasn't able to see her expression. So I couldn't tell. I couldn't see how she looked when she said that, what she might have been feeling. All I could tell was that compared to her usual self, she was more talkative and more emotional.
I don't blame him, you know. He had his own life to live. That's what anyone in my position might say, right? But it's not true.
However...
But there's one thing I can never forgive. Really?
So...
The way everyone else looked at me. I was never sad about being left behind. Like I said, I think it was a good thing.
However...
But when the rest of my family looked at me, they saw something different.
To be fair, they are climbing up a really tall ladder.
They only saw me as the little girl that was abandoned by her father. That's how they see me, even to this day. His shadow has been following me my entire life. I'm sick of it. I need him out of my life. I need to step out of his shadow.
Correct.
And that's why I have to find him and tell him we're no longer family. In order to settle the past. In order to remove him from my life forever. I have no doubt he forgot about me years ago. But your family just cut him out like that.
Wrong.
Our only connection is through blood, nothing more. Are we connected by heart and soul? No.
Hey.
Is blood really enough to call someone family?
Only connected by blood, not by heart and soul. I was so shocked to hear her say something like that, I didn't know how to respond. So instead... Yeah, but they didn't want to draw those. They didn't want to draw every angle. Also, they needed a little fan service. We kept climbing the ladder in complete silence. And after I don't know how long, we finally reached the top.
To the garbage chute. Looks like this is it.
Indeed.
On the other side of that door, Hope's Peak is waiting for us. We're back.
That's right.
Remember that hatch on the ground near the trash room? Fairly certain that that's where we'll come out. I unlocked it earlier, so it should open without much trouble. Well, here goes nothing.
I reached my hand up and pushed against the hatch. The hatch opened up with ease, and so... Yep.
Looks like... Oh, looks like we're back. But I can't believe how long that ladder was. I'm exhausted.
I can't exactly say we're safe and sound, but at least we're out of there. Now we're back in Hope's Peak Academy.
Kyoko, thank you. I never would have gotten out of there without you. No thanks necessary. I was just returning the favor.
Can I leave? So what's the next step once we get out of here? I should ask Kyoko. Okay. Oops. Yeah, we don't care.
So now what do we do? I'm glad I didn't die, of course, but if the mastermind finds out... And I'm worried about you, too. You helped me, so they might...
Listen.
You're worried? Yeah, of course.
So then...
Then let's just get a concrete answer.
Huh?
In other words...
Let's ask Monokuma if there's a problem with you escaping. Wait, that's...
However...
If we try to hide, it's only a matter of time until we're found out. It's not like we can run away.
As she said that, she pointed at the nearby surveillance camera.
So you're saying rather than stressing out over getting caught, we should just give up now? Don't worry. What you think is going to happen isn't. Because the mastermind is the one that's ensnared.
The mastermind is ensnared.
You said something like that before. What does it mean?
So...
The mastermind stood exposed during the investigation into MUKURO's death. There was a moment when the mastermind let their guard down.
There was?
Right.
If we can talk to Monokuma, we can confirm it. And it'll be better for us if we go to him directly before he tracks us down. That should help with our negotiations.
Still a little, super uneasy about all this.
But we don't really have a choice, do we?
Indeed.
Monokuma should be in the gym.
Shall we go?
Let's get going.
Let's do it. I'm actually gonna just teleport straight there. I love the pop-up book style.
well now.
Kyoko, I don't mind so much. But Makoto's supposed to be...
Believe it!
But Makoto's supposed to be dead. What's he doing here?
That's exactly how I thought he'd react. Are you really gonna be okay?
You were supposed to be punished. Did Kyoko help you?
What?
So what if I did? What will you do? If the guilty party is exposed during the class trial, they alone will be executed. It's unfortunate, but that is the rule. So now I gotta punish you again.
Me angry!
And this time I won't leave anything to chance. Kyoko,
Right.
do whatever you feel you have to. But before you do, let me just say one thing.
No.
If you execute Makoto, that means you lose. Not that that matters to you, right?
Huh?
I lose?
Hey!
You, explain yourself. What do you mean by that?
Because...
Well, you set up this latest class trial yourself, right? I was getting in your way, so you wanted an excuse to kill me.
In other words...
I was supposed to be chosen as blackened and then executed, right? But when Makoto chose to overlook my lie, your plan came crashing down. The results of the trial weren't at all what you were expecting. Because you never imagined that in that position, one person would protect another like that.
Right.
And in response to that unexpected development,
Indeed.
you reacted by proclaiming Makoto the blackened and trying to execute him. You made the choice out of desperation. No, more than that. You must have realized that Makoto, who refused to be manipulated, was a threat to you as well.
However...
But then there was another unexpected development waiting for you. An entity that would throw a wrench, so to speak, in your precious execution machinery. Alter ego. You never imagined the possibility of a being that could come to our aid even after you'd killed it.
Am I wrong?
Now here's the absolute truth. Makoto didn't kill Mukuro. You did.
Listen to
So
me.
executing Makoto for it would surely be a violation of your rules, which I know you love so much. If the blackened is exposed, they alone will be executed. That's what you told us, right? And that means I lose? You talk a big game. You're saying the blackened is me, not Makoto?
Well...
And you can prove this, right?
Wow.
No, I can't. What is this, a comedy routine? To make such bold claims without a shred of evidence?
That
I don't
doesn't
have any
matter.
right now. With a little more time, I guarantee I'll find some.
That's right.
Because no matter how deeply you try to bury it, there is only ever one absolute truth. Are you trying to talk like some kind of famous detective type?
Because...
If Makoto really was the killer, he never would have come to you willingly like this. He would have feared for his life, feared another execution. He would have tried to run and hide. He would have been gripped by the despair you so love to inspire.
However...
But here we are, confronting you with nothing but hope in our hearts.
What the heck?
Indeed.
It's not you I'm trying to convince.
Hey,
If you were to execute Makoto now, everyone out there watching this would be extremely displeased.
indeed.
Imagine what everyone out there would think if you killed Makoto. Would they assume that you killed him because what we said is exactly right?
Listen to me.
Despair can never kill hope.
Hey,
Of course, you can say that we're just making this all up. You're welcome to prove us wrong. No, you have no choice but to prove it. Because if you kill Makoto without proving your own innocence, you'll be accepting your own defeat. If you want to earn our despair fair and square,
that's what we have to
then
do.
I suggest you take my advice. So, what is this advice of yours?
It's true.
To do Makuro's trial over again. Only this time, you followed the school regulations to ensure a fair trial.
It's time for one last showdown. One final battle between hope and despair. Hey,
Well, that would make for a proper climax, wouldn't you say?
A fair trial. One last showdown. In other words, this would be our chance to expose the true identity of Makuro's killer, of the mastermind themselves. But what reason would the mastermind have to accept that challenge? They'll probably just execute me without another word.
Interesting.
Barrett!
Very interesting indeed.
Barry,
What's
Oh, I
wrong?
was getting bored, and I decided to change things up a little. So, time for bear jokes. Now, what you're suggesting might be plausible. It would certainly make for one honey of a climax.
in other words...
Does that mean you accept?
You guys!
If we do things your way, that'll be enough to convince you and the viewers, right? That would cause you unbearable despair, right? Then I'm prepared to agree to your terms. Will your hope win out, or will my despair claim victory?
I can barely contain myself!
Let's have one final grisly showdown. He agreed. We still have a shot at this.
Barret!
Now this is the long-awaited climax, right? Just guessing the killer's barely a fitting end.
You guys!
So for the final face-off, you have to unearth all the mysteries that have been buried here. All the mysteries? That's right. Every last mystery that's pawing around the school. If you can do that,
I can barely contain myself!
that'd be enough to qualify as a victory for you.
It's true.
That's what we've been trying to do all along. Well, good. Then I spare it all. If you can claw your way to the truth of MUKURO's death and solve the mysteries of the school, then you win. But if you can't do all that, we'll all face execution, right? I can barely contain my excitement. When you learn the whole truth, what kind of despair will you show me? We're as excited as you are, I'm sure.
Listen to me.
When we've uncovered every last truth, how will the ultimate despair reveal their own despair?
I honestly can't believe how this has all turned out.
Hey,
Before we get started, I want to clarify one more thing. Do you remember the rule? When one student kills another, that's when a class trial is held?
What's wrong?
Remember that for sure, so what?
hey,
I just want to confirm that is what you said, right? And it's a true statement? Okay. Everything is based on the school regulations. And if trial for MUKURO is no exception to that. Huh? MUKURO's trial is no exception. Then it's part of the regulations. Which have to mean that whoever killed MUKURO... It's a very polarizing approach, I know. But okay, enough puns. Anyway, here's a hint. I'm sure I told you this already, but the killing game began with 16 participants, all of them high school students. And the only people to take a single step in Hope's Peak since the killing game began are those 16 students.
listen.
Are you telling the truth? Why'd he go quiet all of a sudden?
Now I'm really angry!
Alright then.
So get lost, would you? Why so mad? He seems emotionally unstable.
Hey!
Leave me alone! Get out of here! Okay, I'm going, You're really gonna let me go? Don't say that, dude. I don't even care anymore. You're all gonna get your punishment later anyway. Then you start getting it ready. A super duper extra special punishment. Overflowing with despair.
Hey,
Come on, Makoto. Let's go.
Okay. I want to see everyone else's reaction when they find out I'm alive. Just like that, we were out of the gym. I could hardly believe it, but somehow I ended up not getting executed. I still had my life, and we still had a chance. Overall, things turned out way better than expected. Once again, I was in Kyoko's debt.
Kyoko, thank you. Everything I have right now is because of you.
however,
Don't thank me just yet. The real battle is still ahead of us. Yeah, true. But still, I'm glad it worked out. I wasn't sure if the enemy would accept my proposal. But honestly, why would the mastermind agree to that? I mean, they don't stand to gain anything from a final showdown, do they?
so,
They had no choice but to accept.
because...
It's all because of that one moment that the mastermind let down their guard, like I said.
So when was it the mastermind let their guard down?
So...
I wasn't there to hear it myself, but do you remember what the mastermind said? They said they had hijacked the airwaves to broadcast our school life to the outside world, right? Yeah, they definitely said that.
Listen,
And what do you think... What did you think when you heard that? Pretty hard to believe, right?
I mean, the idea of actually taking over the airwaves seems so unbelievable.
indeed.
You don't exactly read about something like that happening very often, so it's hard to imagine. In other words, that kind of thing is extremely difficult to pull off.
However,
And yet somehow, the mastermind was able to do it.
in other words...
But think of it another way. There must have been some reason they had to do something that difficult.
A reason?
So...
They had to show the world something, no matter the cost, us killing each other. They wanted to show the world?
It would
The
seem...
Mastermind has been very adamant about not killing us directly, but forcing us to kill each other. And all their rules and regulations were designed to encourage that. Yeah, that makes sense. If those stupid regulations didn't exist, nobody would have killed anybody.
In other words,
So the Mastermind's ultimate goal was to make us kill each other, then show that off to the world.
But why?
correct.
To prove a point, most likely. Prove a point?
Hey,
The outside world has a name for the students of Hope's Peak, right? A certain concept. You're talking about hope, right?
that's right.
And for those of us who represent hope, to kill each other and sink into despair, the Mastermind wants the world to see that, to try and prove that despair is better than hope. That's their goal as the ultimate despair. What? They want to prove that despair is better than hope? But that's ridiculous!
It's true.
You're right, it is ridiculous. Completely irrational. It's the kind of thing that nobody but those who call themselves the ultimate despair would devise. The group whose only purpose and motivation comes from despair. But is that really their only reason for making us suffer?
Makoto.
I know how angry it must make you, and yet, the same motivation is what led to the Mastermind revealing their weakness. What?
In other words,
Because their goal is to broadcast this killing game to the world. The Mastermind has had to be more particular than reasonable about their own regulation. If the Mastermind simply ignored their rules, this wouldn't have been a game, but a one-sided slaughter.
at the very least,
At least that's how those who are watching this would have seen it. And that's why the Mastermind couldn't kill any of us themselves.
indeed.
That is precisely the reason. No matter how much they may hate what I'm doing, I haven't violated a single one of their regulations. Junko broke the rules, so she was punished. But in my case, they couldn't lay a finger on me.
Right.
So instead, they tried to use the class trial following all their proper rules to get me killed. They began a trial that didn't have the right answer. So they made me out to be the killer. But even that didn't work.
It's true.
Yes, thanks to you. Due to that failure, the Mastermind took yet another risk. They attempted to kill you instead, who also was not the killer. And when the fact was exposed on live TV to the entire outside world, the Mastermind had to accept your suggestion.
Indeed.
To prove to the world that despair is better than hope, they had to defeat us in perfect form.
In other
It
words,
would only do the Mastermind harm to have it shown that they'd violated their own regulations. But all of that was a hunch, right? And you were still able to get the Mastermind to accept your challenge?
however,
Well, it's only thanks to you that we got that chance. Because you believed in me, another path opened up. Still, I can't believe how much of the Mastermind's thoughts and plans you were able to figure out. I didn't have the slightest clue.
wrong.
In the end, though, I couldn't prove any of it. It was just my reasoning. Eventually, I was making a bet.
Whew.
But it looks like I got it right. This time, at least, I won the bet.
She let out a quick sigh. I took it as a small sign of relief.
To be honest, I haven't been that nervous in a long time. I totally couldn't tell you were nervous at all. You seemed totally confident from the moment we decided to go talk to him. Well, presenting a strong demeanor is a fundamental part of negotiation and persuasion, wouldn't you say? Plus, if I showed my uneasiness, that would have just made you that much more uneasy. Yeah, you're probably right. How pathetic.
However,
Anyway, we can't relax just yet. All we've done is earned another chance to fight. We have to win this time,
correct.
or everything we've gone through will have been for nothing. You're right. If we can't defeat the Mastermind, it'll cost us our lives. There's no option except to win.
Hey,
But before we begin the final battle, we have to tell the others what's going on. True, but now we know who our real enemy is. All we have to do now is work together with everyone to destroy the Mastermind. Work together with everyone?
however,
Is that really possible? Huh?
anyway,
Right now we have to go find the others.
shall we go?
They're probably in the dorms somewhere. Shall we go?
Did you just say Junko was the cause of it? Is that another spoiler? Because I might just have to ban you. And suddenly we were greeted with...
You again. Is he broken? I suppose his emotional instability reached its limit. Jeez, what the heck?
However,
I wonder what that was all about.
Couldn't help but let out a sigh of relief.
Ah,
Is that Makoto?
You guys!
I'm back, bitches.
It is! There's no two ways about it. That's Makoto.
You survived?
Jeez. You're like a stubborn little cockroach, you know that?
I'm just asking to make sure, but you're not a ghost, right?
Everyone was there. All my friends who had struggled together and survived and condemned me to death. As soon as I saw their faces, I couldn't help myself. I started to tear up.
What?
Wait, what's that smell?
What the heck?
Yeah, man, that seriously stinks.
it's Makoto. He smells like a wet dog.
And in a flash, my tears dried up. Way to ruin everything.
I'm telling you.
Sorry, I was rolling around in garbage for a while.
That smell is so smelly.
Wow. She seems happy for some reason. I still can't believe you survived.
Yeah, me either.
Do you realize why it is you escaped execution?
It was alter ego. He saved my life.
That's right.
Not too many people can say that they've had their lives saved by a computer program. I'm pretty sure a lot of people can actually say that. I imagine it was a learning experience for you.
Yo!
Normal Toko is even creepier than Genocider. Makoto, what was it like hanging out in the spirit world?
I didn't go to the spirit world.
You know?
Did you get to talk to her?
Ooh.
Miss Cleo.
No, I didn't talk to her. I mean, I didn't go to the spirit world. I mean, who the heck is Miss Cleo?
Hina.
So what have you guys been doing while I was gone? Well, we figured since the trial was over, we'd have access to new places again. And? No dice. All the rooms that were locked before were still locked. So there weren't any new areas. Then where can we go to find new clues?
Makoto.
There's no time to indulge in an extended happy reunion. We need to explain to everyone what happened with Monokuma, and that will happen next time.
So, oh my god, this has been... I've live streamed... I've been playing this game for like 4 hours today. I did two hour streams today of this game. Like, this game is actually one of the most addicting games I've ever played. The story is just so good. I mean, I'm sure it's terrible the second time. Or not terrible, but just not nearly as good the second time. But I'm loving every minute of this. But anyways, that's going to do it for this episode. So, thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you all in the next one. Take care, continue testing, and best of luck in all of your future endeavors. Bye-bye.